You know, as you get on up there in years, there's certain things that you need to be aware of to protect yourself from anyone taking advantage of you, and that's why we have Denny Mayhone with Mayhone Elder Law in here to talk about things. It's good to see you. How have you been?
Good to be here. Thank you.
Well, good. Let's talk generally about elder law, if you would, please. Your firm focuses mainly on elder law.
Right. So there's a lot of things we could do, and a few things we've chosen to really focus on. So, estate planning, asset protection planning, long-term care planning, Medicaid planning, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's type planning, something we call life care planning, which is a different approach to things. Instead of just, here's one thing I'm doing for you and go away, we kind of help guide them through the whole process. We call it the second half of life. So the first half, we're building and accumulating. The second half, we're looking to preserve and protect. And so that's kind of the focus we do on elder law. So we can't help with Uncle Bob's DUIs or the barking dogs next door, but we do help families with this area of the law.
Well, I can give Denny a personal endorsement because he took care of my parents' final decisions and everything many years ago, and they were very happy with it. So, you know, I just want to say thank you again for that.
Well, thank you.
Let's start off with estate planning. A lot of people don't think about that and say, well, I can wait for a while to do it. And that's not necessarily true.
Well, what we tell families is when you start thinking about it, that's when you need to do it. What do you want to happen? And the question we ask is, what happens if you get sick? What happens if you can't make decisions? If you become incapacitated, incompetent, or disabled? Who's going to make decisions for you? How are you giving them instructions to help with that decision-making process? And so with estate planning, there's two sets, while you're alive and once you've passed. And so while you're alive is the most important. And so we're often asked, what is the most important estate planning we should do? And it's based on your situation. Do you have plans in place if you can't make decisions that other people are going to make them for you? Powers of attorney.
I was just about to ask that. Powers of attorney comes in there.
Right. So powers of attorney are you appointing someone to make decisions for you, and it has the same legal effect as if you did it yourself. So two general ones, healthcare and a financial or legal side. And so you can appoint different people. You get to say, these are the people I want in charge, and these are the instructions I'm giving them on how to handle my affairs for me while I'm still here. Where am I going to live? Am I going to have that procedure or testing? All of those different things. Opening and closing accounts. Do we start a distribution from my IRA to help pay for care if that's needed? So all of those different things. And even more simply, I just can't be there on Thursday to sign that paperwork. So here, my power of attorney is going to be there for me.
Okay. So are there different tools that you need for estate planning?
Right. So powers of attorney are some of them. People have heard about wills, so last will and testament. That is, after you've died, what happens to the things that you owned that did not have a beneficiary or did not have a joint owner? And so how do we distribute those things? Who gets them? Do we have to go to court? Do you have to hire an attorney? Or is it already set up and put into place? And so all of those different tools come into play in estate planning. And then finally, trust. Some people have heard about trust and what they do, what they don't do. There are different types of trust. And so which one is right for the family or for the person is really about what are they trying to accomplish? What goals do they have? And who do they want to be in charge? And then that helps lay out the rest as we get into the other parts of asset protection or Medicaid or any of those kind of, where am I going to be?
What about living wills?
So living wills are incorporated as part of the healthcare.
Okay.
And so a living will says, what happens if I'm in a persistent vegetative state, have a terminal illness or incurable condition, and machines or medical devices are what's keeping me alive? What do I want to have happen? And so it can be as extreme as pull the plug or treat me aggressively. And many families find somewhere in between is their point, their perfect area.
That was one of the things with my parents that they did before my mother was diagnosed with dementia. And they took care of everything along that line. So even though my father did pass first, my mother at the time was in a nursing home, and did not have the faculties around her to make any of those kind of decisions. That's why you make them way ahead of time. That way you're prepared for things like that that could possibly happen. Heaven forbid they do, but it happens.
Sure, and if you don't have those plans in place, you could end up in court. You could end up on what's called a conservatorship, or an argument with the family of who should be in charge and what did the loved one want. And so we get families that are arguing or fighting or all of those. And so it can get very expensive, and we still have to then have someone, the court, that may or may not have known your parents, ultimately deciding what happens to them. And so we as the person lose that decision-making ability.
What's the difference between Medicare and Medicaid?
They're both federal programs. Medicare is the program many seniors here on the coast are aware of. To qualify, you reach the age you've contributed to the program, and that's it. It is not designed to pay for long-term care. It is designed to help you recover or have a procedure and move on. Medicaid is a needs-based program, and as a needs-based program, that means you have to qualify and show you have the need for it. They can cover long-term care in the home setting or in a nursing home setting. Mm-hmm. And so many families, they run into Medicaid for the first time in looking at long-term care in a nursing home.
How about protecting your home?
The home is generally one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive asset families have. And there are ways to protect it, but protect it from what? Protect it from fighting, protect it from probate, protect it from Medicaid, long-term care recovery, etc. And so we have to look at exactly what it is they want to do, and then we'll know exactly the plan to put in place for them.
We got less than a minute left. Denny, if you would talk about veterans benefits and long-term care.
So if you are a veteran that has a service-connected disability, then there may be benefits available for you. Most already know that part. If you are not service-connected, but you can meet certain requirements, there may be benefits available to help offset and pay for some of the costs related to long-term care.
All right, Denny Mayhone, Mayhone Elder Law in Ocean Springs.
Yes, sir.
And if you want some more information, it's never too early to take care of your needs for when it comes to elder care and get all of that set down. You don't get that worry behind you. You don't have to worry about things like, again, I can give him my own personal endorsement. He does a great job. Anyway, give him a call, set up an appointment, and go and talk to him at Mayhone Elder Law in Ocean Springs.